Hi, the topic today is how to be highly effective, and I'm focusing on courage. See, courage is never the absence of fear. See, it's not that the fear won't be there, but despite the fear, you go ahead and do it. That is what courage means. That is in the simplest term what courage means. You will still have fear, but then the fear will not block you from doing it. So courage is very, very important, because without courage, you cannot, become yourself. Without courage, there is nothing you can do. You might have the whole idea. You might have the whole wealth, the whole thing, but you haven't got the courage. So courage is critical. Courage, is something, that unfolds other qualities we need. Courage is, something, that gives us, makes us to have a proper mindset to bear the weight of everything. So that's why courage is important, because in your life, there comes a time, all the things around you, 99.9% of everything will be against you. The odds are against you. Everything is against you. Yet you have the courage to spring up. You have the courage to say the truth. That is what courage means. See, in life, if you are not courageous, there is nothing you can do. If you are not courageous, you will not meet yourself. You will never answer your name. So that's why courage is very, very important. When I was growing up, there were two things, I was pondering. One was, when I was looking at my dad, sometimes my dad would be alone. I would be wondering. One of them is being alone. And the second thing is being little things. So I would like you to understand this or share this knowledge with me. So one is being lonely. One is being alone, not being lonely. Being alone. Being lonely is a different thing. It's a kind of problem. It's a mental problem. It's a difficult problem. But being alone is something that is essential. So I was wondering, while I was growing up, my father was always alone. So this question kept on, occurring, kept on reoccurring, kept on coming to my mind. I was wondering, why is this man always alone? Do you know that it is only now, after like how many years, close to 50 years, that now I am realizing why the man was always alone? So we are created to be alone, because in a mother's womb we're alone. Then where we're going, we are most likely to be alone. So what we are saying is that, you see, you got to be alone in order to discover yourself, because being that alone means, sustaining an opinion is a lonely journey. Sustaining an opinion is a lonely journey. Having the courage to say the truth is a lonely journey. For you to, be against the crowd, be against the tide is a one-man journey. You can't do it with your friend, and you can't do it with your family friends. Obviously, you can't do it with your family members. You're gonna be alone. So being alone is a part and parcel of our being. Because if you want to say the truth, and you find out that all the whole people are saying, well, what they're saying, is not the truth. So how are you gonna say the truth, for goodness sake? The pressure will be on you. Now imagine where you'll be coming from. You'll be coming from the bottom of, the truth, the bottom of everything, and only to come and say the truth. It's a very difficult journey. It's a lonely journey. When everybody is enjoying, when everybody is laughing, when everybody, of course, laughing is a short-term thing that is benefiting. And then you angling it up to say the truth, that is a burden on itself. It's like when you are in a ring, you are alone doing the fighting. The people around you, they don't see what you're seeing. They don't know what you're going through. But then, the whole crowd, 7 billion people are watching you, 8 billion people are watching you, 4 billion people are watching you, you'll be alone. So if you are not used to this kind of experience, you'll cave in. The weight of, crowd, the weight of the opinion of people will make you to close your mouth. This is experience. So courage is very, very important, because, in life, there comes a time you have to be alone. You have to be courageous enough to say what your spirit is saying, not what your body is saying, not what your friends are saying, not what your mother and father are saying, not what your brothers are saying, not what your community people are saying, but you having the courage to say that thing that is buried inside of you. You have to be in a different world. That is where I'm touching. That is why we find out that to stand on the side of the truth is a heavy journey. It's a heavy load. It's a burden on itself. Now, if you are following the crowd, you don't have a challenge. You are going down the stream. You don't have a challenge. It's a smooth journey. But when you are going up the stream, man, you have to go with your full force. You have to go with your whole energy. It's not going to be easy. You need the Holy Spirit to give you that courage. Coming out to say the truth when 99% of people are saying, look, this is the place you're going. And you being in that position and having the courage to withstand this momentous crowd, to withstand this group, you must be from another planet. So that is what it takes to be courageous. That is what it takes to be courageous, because you are going to say the truth, and that truth will offend everybody. That truth will make your friends to disassociate themselves from you. That truth will make your friends to abandon you. Sometimes they tell you you are an idiot. Sometimes they tell you are a fool. Sometimes they tell you, look, you are not among one of them. Sometimes they tell you, look, it's not my father that gave birth to you. It's not my mother that gave birth to you. So that is the time, that is where we're coming from. That is what I'm saying. So having the courage and the power to say the truth when every other thing is against you. So see, the universe itself is against you. The entire human population is against you. But you coming out and facing these people, looking at them in the eyes and saying, look, this is the truth. Of course, along the way, your life is at stake. You are risking your life. So that is why they said, look, if you can't say the truth, if you are not ready to die for what you believe, you better keep quiet. If you are not ready to die for what you believe, you better remain silent like a dead person. So this is where I'm coming from. So life is about saying the truth. Life is about having the courage when everybody has received bribe. People are collecting 10,000, 20,000, and they're keeping their mouth shut. And you coming out to get against them, they have everything, at their disposal. And you withstanding them is a lesson of its own. Is a lesson that, people on earth don't experience. Of course, they're not from here. Because if you are from this planet, then you can't defeat this planet. If you are from this earth, you can't defeat the planet. Because already, you've been duped. You've been beaten into a particular way of thinking. And you going against it is an uphill task. So that is why when it comes to saying the truth, that is why when it comes to becoming yourself, man, it is another tug of war. It is a battle for the next day. It is a battle left for the future generation, not for our generation. Because we haven't got the courage. We have to postpone it. Like us, we do not realize that God has given us himself completely. But because we haven't got the courage, we've chosen the leeway out, is to postpone it. See, God has made you God. But because you haven't got the courage, then you are abdicating. You are telling God, you are telling the universe to please postpone it. That was that was the context Moses met in the wilderness. That was the real context of the burning of the bush in the wilderness. Because Moses was confronted with a challenge of truth. Moses told God, look, I do not know how to talk. Postpone this responsibility. Give it to another person. There was a serious deliberation between Moses and God. Moses made God angry. God decided to say, am I not the one that makes somebody mute? Am I not the one that makes somebody to talk? Is there anything difficult for me? And because of that, God didn't change his position. Because God knows that what he has given you is enough for you to fly. God knows that what he left inside of you is equivalent to what he himself has. So God doesn't need to recreate you. It is your ignorance and stupidity and lack of understanding that makes you to believe you are not sufficient enough. This is where we find ourselves. So in the context of life, you are going to face the same thing Moses faced. Can I say the truth and die? Or can I keep quiet and live? Can I take my responsibility and say the truth? Or can I keep quiet so that I can live 100 years, 200 years? Can I say the truth and then my friends will abandon me, my brothers will abandon me, my wife will abandon me, my children will abandon me? These are, the forces that are battling in our mind. The fights in the mind. So these are what you're gonna face. Now, God has created you and gave you everything. But having the courage to be that person God created you to be is like going to another planet. Not 1% of the people can try to have courage as to answer their name. Because when you are faced with these choices, You will prefer the easy one out. You prefer the smooth road. Now let me join these people, Sha. This is easy after all. Come on now. You'll be like Esau. You will sell your birthright. Most of us are selling our birthright because we face a moment, a gigantic situation that, we can't cope with. And that is why I'm saying, in that situation, you find yourself alone, but not lonely. Of course, the Holy Spirit is with you. You will be alone because your opinion is contrary to the opinion of other people. Your views will be against the views of the entire populace. Now, you'll be going against the tide. So how are you going to sustain this kind of opinion? How are you going to sustain this contrary decision? How are you going to sustain this choice you've made? Because everybody has abandoned you. Everybody has disassociated themselves from you. Everybody has told you, keep quiet, you can't do this. But, your blessing is in this very thing you're saying. Your strength is in this thing you're saying. Your power, your ability is in this very one sentence. Saying, I am able to do it. That was the context Moses found himself. Because God told him, look, go to Pharaoh and say the truth. Moses said, look, please God, send another person. Because they're going to kill me. Because I don't know how to talk. Moses started giving all the whole excuses in this world. And that is practically what we do. When we are faced with this kind of choices, what happens is that we start giving excuses. Just like Gideon. Gideon was faced with this kind of challenge. And Gideon was saying, look, in my family, we are cowards. In my community, I've never seen somebody who sprung up to be a leader. In my community, in my own family kindred, everybody is weak. Nobody has the courage. Nobody did this. That was what Gideon was saying. But God said, look, Gideon, you mighty man of valor. So in this thing, this is the battle in the mind. And if you do not say the truth, if you do not stand this battle, God will frustrate you throughout your life. You might think you are successful, but you're not successful. But because God will frustrate you because you failed to say the truth. It's just like a car that refused to, move. You frustrated yourself. So we get frustrated on earth because in the moment, in a difficult moment, in a defining moment, we sold our birthright. In a defining moment, we didn't stand tall. In a defining moment, we didn't stick out and say, this is the truth, and shame the devil. So this is where the courage I'm saying comes from. Because in this defining moment, you're going to be alone. In this defining moment, your friends will run away. You will not have any other friends. You'll be alone. Now, that loneliness means you might not have money. You might not have a place to money to put food on the table. You might not have anybody to assist you. You might not have friends. Everybody has abandoned you. These are choices we are facing every day. So if you do not have the inspiration and the courage you will faint. Because in the time of challenge, the faint-hearted they give it. In the time of challenge, the faint-hearted will get naked and run away. They throw in the towel. But they forgot that, look, sacrifice is essential. Responsibility time is responsibility time. You can't afford to, you can't afford to compromise. Because if you compromise throughout your life, you'll be frustrated. Because you've sold your birthright, because you will never meet that yourself, whom you are created to be. Most of us do not know that there is somebody we are created to be, and until we answer that name, we will never be like that person. And any person with insight is always excited meeting himself. So this is the defining moment we face every day. This is the context of things. This is the background of things in life, where you will be alone. Your mind will be chatting. Do I do this or do I not this? Do I do this? Do I not do this? And this is what you're going to face. And in the midst of this, for you to make the right choice, it's going to be difficult. Is an uphill task. So this is the defining moment. This is the moment that determines whether you are a child of God or whether you're not a child of God. Whether you understand your purpose. Because what happens is that when we are faced with this kind of situation, 99% of people will throw in towel. They wash their hands off the thing and say, look, God, please, take away this obstacle from me. Take away this challenge from me. Let me go and rest. But you don't know that resting you're going, that direction you're going is a doom. Is the direction for somebody who is doomed. Is the direction for somebody who has condemned himself. That is the way it is. So you got to be alone. So, but you're not gonna be lonely, because God was placed Holy Spirit inside. Already the Holy Spirit has taken control and is waiting for you to say, yes, I am able to do, and then the fire will start burning. But what most of us do is we give in. We relinquish. We don't fight to the end. And in that process, we are postponing. So what humanity does is to postpone, his responsibility. And because we postpone our responsibility, then the grace and the act of God, the nature of God is not in us today. Because we postponed it. Because we put it off. The moment of truth, we put it off. We shortchange ourselves. When you collect 10,000 naira just to, take bribe, and then you betray yourself. And that is what we're facing every day. So when the moment of truth arrives, what happens? We give in. We shortchange ourselves. Then we haven't got the courage to stand. We haven't got the courage to be in that fire for a moment. You forgot that the butterfly that was shining was a caterpillar that was in a cocoon. You forgot that the diamond that was shining, was the stone that was found in the furnace. So the seed, that the tree that is bearing fruits and feeding everybody, was the seed that was buried inside the ground, where he was defiled, where 99% was against it. It was lonely. So in the journey of life, you're going to be lonely. Sorry, in the journey of life, you're going to be alone. So you're going to be alone in the journey of life. So because you're going to have your opinion. Now, what the Spirit of God inside of me is telling me to say, if I decide to favor people, I will say it. The inspiration inside of me, I will not say it. Because all part of me is saying that God has made us God. The same power God possesses is what we have. But the problem is that we postponed our own. When the moment of truth comes up, we say, look, God, please have your godliness. God, please let me have peace of mind. But not knowing that that peace of mind you think you're having is a short-term one. What it leads you is to the abyss. So you got to be lonely. So you got to be alone. So being alone means you have to have your opinion. You have to say something what your Spirit of God inside of you tells you. Not what is popularly believed. Not the opinion of people. Because God created us in our own image and gave us, each and every one of us, power. But what happens is that most of us do not grow where we are planted. We do not grow where God planted us, and because of that, we cannot use the potential God has left inside of us. Because we postpone the action, then the potential remains in the fallow. The potential remains there dormant. And then we are walking out and saying we don't have it, when in the real sense of it, we already possess it. It's just like the oil in the ocean, at the heart of the ocean for 5,000 years or for millions of years. It's been there. But 5,000 years ago, people were walking about and saying there was nothing like that. Until this generation, we are able to have courage to drill thousands of miles into the ground, and they lifted it. I said, oh my God. So this thing has been here. So the same way, when you will one day realize that, oh, so God made me in his own image. The same power he possessed. Oh no, my God. And I was living like a pauper. I was living like somebody who hasn't got bone. Oh my God. Why? That is the regret you're going to have in future. When after this time, you come to realize that, look, you have the power, the same power God possesses. The same power God has is the same power he's given to you. God is not like a human being. He gives you half. He gives you full. So that is the message I have today. That is why I'm saying courage is very, very important. Because if you're not courageous, then you won't use your potentials. So that courage means you have to battle in the context of being alone. I remember growing up, I was seeing my dad alone. I was wondering, what in God's sake is this man always alone? After going to Sokoto, Kano, driving, and when he comes home, he stays alone. I still kept on wondering, why was this man always alone? It is now that I'm more than 50 that I realize why my father was always alone in those days. Because he understood that the journey of life is a singular, is for one person. So the said salvation is individual. So salvation of life is individual. God is going to judge you on your own, on you alone. So that is the danger of not understanding that you got to be yourself. You have to shun friends. You have to shun brothers. You have to shun everybody and be on your own. Because of course, on the day you're gonna die, you're gonna be alone. My sister is dead now. She is alone. She didn't go with me. She didn't go with her son. She didn't go with her wife, her husband. She didn't go with her brothers. She is alone. Even in my mother's womb, she was alone. So what is it that the people around you are going to do for you that will make you to shortchange yourself, that will make you to betray yourself, that will make you not to say the truth? Albert Einstein said, not saying the truth is the actual thing that the man dies of. It's not that the man dies, it is not saying the truth that is buried inside of you. For me to make this video, I have to fight against it. I have to be courageous to say this thing. Otherwise, I won't say it. Because it has to be, I have to be alone. I have to be courageous. I have to understand that 99.9% of people will be against this opinion. But I still have to say it. Because that is the road to life. That is the path of life. That is the direction. You're going to be alone. It's not going to be a wide road where everybody's moving. It's going to be something you alone will be there, between you and God. One moment. So, the problem of this world is that people whom God has created to reveal the truth do not have the courage to reveal the truth. They prefer to remain silent and then go to the destruction, to saying the truth. Because this truth will make you lose friends. The truth will make you lose your parents. The truth will make you lose your husband and wife and children. But you forgot that, look, your purpose in this life is to say that truth. Your purpose is to say that truth. And that truth is the only thing God said to you to come here. And then you lose it just because you want to have relationship with the people. The people who will still deny you. Your brother will deny you. Your sister will deny you. Everybody will deny you. And it's the same people that are, distracting you, preventing you from God-given purpose. They are the people that thwart you from the direction for which God created you, where He planted you. And then you are proud to say you are doing the right thing. Judgment Day will tell you. So the time has come that we have to say the truth, regardless of what happened, because it's not slandering. It's saying that truth God's buried inside of you. The truth I'm saying today is that God has created you and made you God Himself, yourself. Gave you the same power He possesses, gave you the same thing, but because you haven't got the courage, then you don't see the result. And because you don't see the result, you deny. Because, boy, you forgot that you didn't develop it. You failed to take on the mantle of leadership. You failed to take on the responsibility. You failed to stand on your feet. You failed to stand on your values. Just because you want something you want to eat, so that you be using the toothpick on your teeth. That is it. So, and the next thing that I said that I learned while I was growing up was in the seminary. There was a rector then. His name is Dr. Nwanibe. St. Peter Clever Seminary, Obala, in Imo State, Nigeria. That is where I schooled. So in this place now, we had Dr. Nwanibe. In the morning, we assembled in front of the rector's office, and then we were expecting him to come and give us advice and talk to us. And this reverend gentleman who said to us that little things that matter. He will spend time 10 minutes, 15 minutes talking about little things. I bet you many of us didn't understand that. But it is now that I've realized that what the man was saying. Now, the little thing you possess is enough to light up the world. The power you possess is enough to light the whole universe. The truth you will say out now will liberate millions in the next 1 billion years to come. And then why are you not saying the truth? Standing on your feet today will give humanity a lift. You know, a giant step. A small step gives them a giant step in the 1 billion years to come. And you fail to say that truth. It doesn't cost you, it's a tiny thing. But that tiny thing will, you know, will be a giant step in the life of all humanity. You have it. Don't you know that little things are what matter? So God is not like a human being. Once he gave you a little thing, it means he has given you all. If it's little, he has given you all. We apply it in every day in engineering and in science. In science, a similar triangle, a tiny similar triangle is equivalent to the largest similar triangle. Now, you possess the same material God possesses, and you are still complaining. You are God walking in 2 legs, yet you don't seem to realize this. You don't seem to understand this because you don't believe, because you haven't got good courage. Moses wouldn't have known that he possessed the power he possessed if he hadn't accepted. Gideon wouldn't have defeated if he hadn't accepted. So the key thing is to accept responsibility, and then you will now see the potential all around you. That is the little thing. See, if you do not make use of the physical thing, tiny thing, then the spiritual thing, the supernatural power in you will not come out. If you do not use the physical power, the physical truth you already possess, you know, the supernatural power that is hidden inside your stomach and inside under your tummy, you will not use it. So this is the message I have for you today. That as much as you tend to say things are small, that small thing is enough to light the universe. Is enough to give the universe the illumination it requires. Don't sit down there spinning your chair like this and say, look, I don't have enough. You possess the same power God possesses. And then why are you not using it? Why are we not using it? It's because we haven't got the courage. Little things that matters. According to Father Nwanibe, he told us that little things is the little things that matters. So do not underestimate little things. Do not underestimate a human being, because a human being is full-fledged God. But the doubt and fear in us buried the potential, and then it doesn't spring up. Then when you must have died, then you will not realize, oh my God, I didn't realize that God made me God. God said, I'm not going to ask you to come back because you've had that time. This is a golden time. This is a golden moment. We are created to solve problems. The star shines in the night. So the purpose for which God created us is to solve problems. Our problem is supposed to be our food. To get it. Where is the problem? Let's solve it. Where is it? Let's solve it. Oh, is there any problem here? You rush and solve it. Where is it? Bam, 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 bam. That is why we are created. We are not created here to come and be looking at people. We are not created to come and be looking at the crowd. We are not created to come here to make friends who will distract you from a God's given purpose, who will judge you and condemn you. So this is a golden moment. A moment you have to seize. The day is evil, according to the Bible. Means the day is very short. I might not be strong enough to say this again, but I am using it to say this is a golden time. So I might not live long, 100 years, 200 years, but it depends on God. But I am using this time, this golden moment, an appointed time God has given to me. I'm very, very conscious. And I'm saying this, that God has made you God. So all excuses we are giving is a weak man's excuses. The power in us is enough to light up the world. The same power God possesses is the same power we possess. The same thing God created is because God is not like a human being. God never lies. God said, I have made you in my image. The same power I have is the same power you have. You are my children. Fly with the power. And we are postponing it because we don't want to take responsibility. We are like Moses. Moses tried to wriggle out of it. That angered God. God told him, look, I am the one that created you. I know what is inside of you. Go and tell Pharaoh what I said. And then let Pharaoh refuse. So that is the message. A leader has to be courageous. In being courageous, you have to be alone. Because your opinion, many people will not buy into it. Your views, many people will not buy into them. It is only you that was given this message. And that message is given to you to say it out. It was given to you before the creation of the world. God left that message in your heart. And that is the message I am delivering. The message God gave to me before the beginning of the world. And the message is that God has made you God. So if you are dwelling in ignorance, it's your choice. Ignorance is a choice. Not taking responsibility is a choice. Because that is an easy way. People prefer easy way. And what do we see? Frustration. The purpose for which we are created is to solve problems. Thank you.